Every Saturday morning, Ava Mitchell, a 29-year-old elementary school teacher, visited the old public library in Boston, Massachusetts. She always borrowed romance novels, not because she believed in fairy tales anymore, but because they reminded her that hope still existed somewhere. One rainy afternoon, while opening an old hardcover novel, something slipped onto the floor. It wasn't a bookmark, it was a handwritten letter. The paper had turned slightly yellow with age. It simply read, "If you're reading this, I hope today is kinder to you than yesterday." There was no name, no date, only those words. Ava folded the letter carefully and smiled. For the first time in weeks, someone she had never met had made her feel less alone. The next Saturday, she borrowed another book. Inside, another letter. Don't forget to look at sunsets. They remind us that beautiful endings can become beautiful beginnings. Ava's heart raced. Every week, a different book, a different letter. Whoever wrote them seemed to understand exactly what she needed to hear. Across the city lived Liam Carter, a 32-year-old architect. Years earlier, after losing his younger sister, he had started leaving anonymous letters inside library books. He believed that words could quietly heal strangers. He never expected anyone to write back. But one afternoon, he opened a book he had donated years before. Inside was a new note. "Whoever you are, thank you. Your words found someone who truly needed them." Signed only A.M. Liam smiled. For the first time, the stranger had answered. From that day on, they exchanged letters only through library books. They never asked for names, never exchanged phone numbers, never met. Months passed. Their letters became longer. They shared dreams, childhood memories, favorite places, and fears. Each message ended with the same sentence, "Maybe one day." One autumn evening, the library announced it would close for renovations. Only one weekend remained. Liam placed one final letter inside their favorite novel. "If you still believe in maybe one day, meet me next Saturday at 4 p.m. beside the old clock inside the library." Ava read it with trembling hands. Saturday arrived. The library was nearly empty. Sunlight streamed through the tall, stained glass windows. The old clock ticked softly. Ava stood waiting with the novel in her hands. Across the room, a man walked toward her, holding the same book. They stopped a few feet apart. Neither of them spoke. Liam smiled first. "So, you found my letters." Ava laughed with tears. "They found me." They spent the entire afternoon walking through Boston Common, talking as though they had known each other for years, because in many ways they already had. Spring arrived. The library reopened with a special display celebrating books that changed people's lives. In the center stood a glass case. Inside was the very first handwritten letter Liam had ever hidden. Beside it was Ava's reply. Below them, a small plaque read, "Some love stories begin with a glance. Ours began with a page." 1 year later, Liam proposed to Ava in the same library aisle where the first letter had been discovered. She smiled before he even asked. "I've been saying yes since the first letter." Outside, rain gently fell over Boston. Inside, surrounded by thousands of books, two strangers who had never planned to meet began the greatest chapter of their lives. and every anniversary they returned to that library and quietly left a handwritten letter inside a random book, just in case someone else needed hope.